a fourth productivity app this year, each one exciting for about 2 weeks before it's quietly abandoned for the next one. None of them failed. The pattern did. Let's fix that. A new system feels exciting specifically because it's new. The excitement is a reaction to novelty itself, not evidence that the new approach is actually better than whatever you were doing before. That excitement gets misread as a signal, and the old system, no longer novel, starts to feel boring by comparison, even if it was working perfectly well. The result is a cycle of switching systems right when the previous one was finally becoming routine enough to actually compound. This cycle is self-reinforcing in a sneaky way. The switch itself produces a fresh burst of motivation, which feels like proof the new system was the right call, when really any sufficiently novel change would have produced that same temporary lift. The lesson gets learned backwards. Switching systems makes me more motivated, instead of the more accurate version, which is that novelty itself is motivating for a short window regardless of which system it's attached to, and that window closes at roughly the same point every time. The fix is recognizing excitement about a new system as information about your brain's response to novelty, not information about the system's actual effectiveness. Before switching, ask whether the current system is actually failing or just no longer feels new. If it's still producing results, boring and working is a strictly better position than exciting and unproven. Put a simple test in place before any switch. Has the current system actually stopped producing the results it was supposed to produce, measured by something concrete, or has it simply stopped feeling exciting to use? Those are two entirely different situations that deserve two entirely different responses. A system that's failing on its own metrics deserves reconsideration. A system that's merely become familiar deserves to be kept, specifically because familiarity is what allows compounding to actually happen. Someone who chases the excitement of each new system resets to zero every few months, losing all the compounding progress the previous system had quietly been building. Someone who sticks with one working system past the point where it stops feeling exciting keeps compounding uninterrupted, and a year later has vastly more to show for it than someone who was, on paper, trying 4 different approaches with real enthusiasm each time. The irony is that the system switcher often works just as hard, sometimes harder, chasing each new setup with genuine energy and effort. What's missing isn't effort, it's continuity. Every switch effectively restarts the compounding clock at zero, so 4 honest attempts at 4 different systems can add up to less real progress than one ordinary attempt sustained the whole way through, purely because the second person never had to pay the restart cost more than once. First, before adopting something new, write down exactly what's not working about your current system. If you can't name anything concrete, the pull is probably just novelty. Second, commit to any new system for a fixed minimum period before allowing yourself to judge it or switch again. Third, deliberately let a working system become boring. Boring is often the feeling of something finally compounding. For the second tip, pick a real minimum commitment period in advance. A full quarter is a reasonable default, and treat any urge to switch before that period ends as information to note, not act on immediately. For the third tip, actively reframe boredom with a working system as a positive signal rather than a warning sign. It usually means the system has become automatic enough to stop requiring conscious effort, which is exactly the condition under which real compounding takes place. A new system feels exciting. An old one feels boring. Trust the boring one if it's still working. Next episode, boredom tolerance, the skill behind almost every habit that sticks. Follow along so you don't miss it.